Hundreds of Kahnawake's men, women, and children braved frigid temperatures to march against the government's proposed First Nations Education Act on Tuesday, January 28th. The rally was organized by the Kahnawake Education Working Group, and KTV was there.
This day means that we're all united. That's how I see it. We're all united in the fact that we are, satisfied with our education, that we want to continue to bring forth the recommendations from our community, not from an outside government dictating to us what Kahnawake education should be.
Yeah, wonderful turnout with a lot of community members here and students from survival school and some of the older students from our elementary schools, and lots of little ones too come with their parents. Just shows that, we do realize the importance of, controlling our education and the danger that this act has.
Well, very happy to see the numbers here because it is extremely cold, but it's an important issue, so it's taken precedent, and the amount of people here shows that. Well, for the Harper government to try and enforce this act amongst First Nations people, it just makes you wonder about the apology that was given. It's like speaking out of two mouths.
Really, really excited to see that the community of Kahnawake has come out to support Kahnawake education and our jurisdiction over education.
My dad is a survivor of residential school, and it's important that it doesn't happen again. I mean, our families are still trying to recover from all of this, and even though it is laden with well-meaning intentions, it's not. Kahnawake is special in the fact that our education system is run the way it is for a reason, and to ignore this, I don't know. It just blows my mind why someone would try to take something away that is so good.
Well, I think the music, the singing, the drumming, I think it shows the heart of the people, and nothing is more exciting than when we're all united in a certain objective. And it really reflects who we are.
I think it's great that the community can come together for one great cause.
Well, I think it's extraordinary, the amount of people and community members, students who came out. It was a really wonderful turnout.
We did accomplish our mission by slowing down traffic, able to bring awareness to what the First Nations Education Act is for, the surrounding municipalities, just so that they can understand and they could assist in the plight to hopefully stop Harper from pushing down this act.
People have been guessing there was about 500 to 700 people walking today, plus the people in the cars, and it's a great show of force, not only to our people in our own community, but outside and to government, that we have something to say about controlling or taking care of our education of our children. There's some people here that we've invited to come and share some words with you for the next little while from different parts of the community, from different areas, to share some of their thoughts, some elders, some young people as well. We're going to ask first for Gana Sohum, principal at Garunyano Haji Undariwaya Stakwa, to come and share some words.
Onakti doske, onakti skotnigura, ne odawatste. Tanu ariwanunduse ne sugoya dizu. Tanu gwegu tinu hodu yun heje. Nono duduataro ne hondo gariwadeko. Tinigu radio ne gasa stansara. Omadane anduhutkawe ne uawuni zarade. Ne zidayo duhunzo ne gigo kagurasara. Radih naraga. Wataga hodi ni gorayanda ne nohodo watrori ne gaswanta. Ne jigigo I ogu hunza. I ogu agonutu onohodo ayetiri hunyono ne radiksa ogua. Ne gadiwagare dokarani wanage ne andagatkawe tagadine nayotu ne za nigunu.
We don't want to follow Quebec's lead. We don't want to follow Canada's lead. We want to be in control of our own community education system. Now, something to point out that a lot of you might not be aware, because we've had a combined school committee in our community for so long that people kind of sometimes maybe don't realize that we are the only community in Quebec out of 22 communities who runs the education system by the people.
Our current education structures in the community are well developed, holistic, and catered to needs specific to Kahnawake. The proposed act will not only abrogate access to resources that will meet our unique community needs, but will limit our forward progression as contributing members of society. We recognize a number of fundamental defects with the proposed First Nations Education Act. The Act interferes with our right to self-determination, an inherent and human right. The Act interferes with our right to have access to proper education. It abrogates our right to jurisdictional control of education.
We, the grade 5 students of Kahnawake, wrote a letter we would like you guys to hear it. Dear Prime Minister Stephen Harper, we, the grade 5 students of Kahnawake School of Kahnawake, do not want or need your Education Act.
What we want is for our language and culture to survive on into the next 7 generations. We are proud of our own traditions and our unique education system, and we want it to continue.
Our language and culture has been passed on for thousands of years and many generations. It is very important to us to teach it to our own children so that they can pass it on into the future. We want to honor all the agreements that were made by our peoples in the past for our education in exchange for your continued use of our lands. We have the right to our own teachers, our own curriculum, and we want our parents to stay in charge because they are the ones that know what's best for us.
What we do not need is your Education Act. It will not guarantee our future. Kahnawake grade 5 student.
Stephen Harper in the Canadian government. We, the students of Kahnawake Survival School, reject the FNEA. We do not need, nor do we want the FNEA to go through. This legislation is trying to impose external standards on our own education system without our consent or consultation. It lacks commitment and obligation to support our language and culture. This legislation delivers no commitment to financially provide our future in college and university. For many years, we have been taught our language and culture. It makes us a proud people. Therefore, we refuse to be oppressed by this current legislation. It is our basic human right, our inherited right to practice our culture and language. The FNEA interferes with our right to guide our future generations' education system. We demand that they stop all paternalistic legislations against Ungwahuma, Native people. The government's track record for taking our education into their hands has had negative effects upon Native peoples in the past, as well as today, through multi-generational trauma, resulting from the residential experience. Residential schooling being the perfect example of the government's lack of experience. They have no understanding of how we as First Nations learn. This governmental education system that was supposed to benefit Native peoples in the past has resulted in alcoholism, drug abuse, loss of culture and language, and the massive genocide of Native peoples across Canada. The government had thought that they were helping by teaching us about their ways and taking away our culture. But in reality, they were stripping us of the key components that made us Ungwahuma people. By opposing the FNEA, we are truly taking education into our own hands. We, the students of Kahnawake Survival School, reject the FNEA. We do not need, nor do we want the FNEA to go through. Yakanaga ta agwe, gana ayagwe sage.